Welcome back. I know the last video I put out last month, I talked about doing a 52 games a year challenge. I'm still on the challenge. I'm still doing pretty well. I may be a couple days behind, but don't tell anybody. So essentially I wanted to talk about the games that I had played last month in February. The first game I did start out with was Portal 2, and I had played that game before. I played completely through the multiplayer section or the co-op section, but I never did go through or complete the single player. I had started it, but I just didn't finish it, so I kind of just picked up from where I had left off and completed the game from there on out. And I'm kind of upset with myself that I never finished it before because it's so fun and I love puzzle games. I love the humor in Portal 2. It's just so ridiculous. And I had such a great time playing it, and it was a pretty quick gameplay through. So I did have a little bit of time for the rest of the games that I did play within the month. And again, I want to make sure that I do a video after each game instead of just doing here's all three at one, which is what I'm doing for this video. And I will go into detail as to why that happened this month so that I can kind of catch you up on a couple things that I want to talk about as well. So that was Portal 2. Great game, a lot of fun. If you are looking for some games that will make you think and you just kind of want something that's slightly a little bit more relaxing than the stress of playing a shooter, and I knew that Outlast just came out and that was ridiculously stressful to play. If you need something a little bit calming, because I did start Portal 2 after I rage quit on Outlast, it will definitely calm your nerves down and you'll have a lot of fun playing it as long as you're good enough to get through the challenges. Let's just be real. So anyways, the second game that I went through for the month of February was Dragon's Crown. Dragon's Crown, I picked it up when it had came out and I loved the game. I thought it was absolutely fun. The artwork was absolutely beautiful. Actually, the second YouTube video I did, I talked about just briefly the problems that arose around the artwork. George Kamatami did the art for it, and there was a lot of controversy over the boobage in one of the characters. I had no problem with that. I thought the art was absolutely beautiful. Every single character had their own exaggeration or feature about them that made them unique. And the witch happened to have big boobs, which is very known by Vanillaware to do, you know, female characters with huge boobs dating back to Odin Sphere. But, you know, not just her. I mean, if you take the knight, for example, his legs were like this big and his torso was huge. So he had his own exaggeration within himself. The Amazon chick, she had smaller boobs, but she had a big butt. Like, all kinds of different exaggerations within the characters, and I just thought that that was really cool, and I thought the art was absolutely beautiful. In fact, when you go through and you do a couple of the side missions to gain extra abilities, you actually unlock concept art, which was awesome. Like, the concept art in this game is just absolutely beautiful, but aside from that, the gameplay itself is so good, it's so fun. The only problem I had with it is that it is a little bit repetitive, which is why I had initially stopped playing it. I got pretty far through the game and I didn't realize how near to the end that I was. When I picked it back up again, I probably had 2 talismans left to grab before I went to the final boss battle. But all in all, the game is absolutely great. Unfortunately, when I went through the game, you couldn't crossplay between Vita and PlayStation. But they actually patched that in now, so if you do have any friends that has, you know, one person bought a Vita copy and the other person bought a PS3 copy, you actually can play together now, which is really, really cool. I kind of wish that I'd had that when I started playing the game, but I didn't really play that much with people, so I was fine with it. I had so much fun just playing it by itself. Yeah, but each character is absolutely unique. So, for example, I played through the game with the Amazon chick because she's really fast and she's a berserker type of character. And she wields an axe. And I thought her character was the most interesting, which is why I chose her to play with the game. Actually, when you start the game, it tells you which character are for more advanced players and which character are for more beginner or intermediate. And I believe the Amazon was a intermediate character. But, you know, you do have characters like the archer, you have characters like the knight, the witch, the mage, or not mage, the wizard. So you do have a bunch of different other characters, and each ability or each way that they fight is unique to that character and can't be cross compatible. Some of the items are cross compatible, but a witch pretty much does most of the healing, like white magic. The wizard does black magic. The Amazon is a berserker. You have an archer, and different characters. I think I'm leaving out, and then the knight, which is, your swordsman, the most basic. And then there was a dwarf character, which he was a heavy hitter kind of character. But it's really cool, and the interesting thing about it is that the replayability on the game is crazy. You can go through the entire game as each different character, and it caps you at, I believe, level 30 or 33, and you can't really progress until you finish the game and go further. You have to defeat the dragon at the end of the game before you can even start leveling up even more. But a game with every single character, and every time you play with a different character, it's going to be a different experience, just because the abilities are completely different from each different character. So if you haven't picked up Dragon's Crown, pick it up. It's absolutely great. It's phenomenal. If you're an old school retro gamer, you want to play a side-scrolling beat 'em up, pick up Dragon's Crown. You won't regret it. Vanillaware has definitely proven their worth. Muramasa, Odin Sphere, if you love those games, grab Dragon's Crown. And don't let the last game that I played was Gravity Rush. And as I said in my last video, I'm actually cosplaying Kat later on this year for one of the conventions here in Baltimore. And I'm actually really excited to play her, even more so that I finish the game. Now, I kind of finished this game a little bit late. We are in March now. And the reason for that being is that I actually was out of town for a little bit, and I had a couple other things I was trying to catch up on, which I will go into detail a little bit later, but mostly I was traveling. I was out of town for a little portion of it. I got to play, luckily because it's on the Vita, I got to play a little bit of it on my bus ride to and from New York, which is where I actually was. But Gravity Rush is actually amazing. I am pissed off with myself that I never finished the game when it came out. The reason I didn't finish it was, for some reason, I have no idea what was wrong with me. I could not figure out what to do. Like, I got to this point of the game and I was just confused. I was lost in town, had no idea. I picked up the game again, and lo and behold, you choose the waypoint where you want to go, and you select it, and then it tells you where to go. And I don't know why I didn't get that, but I felt pretty stupid when I picked up the game again. But aside from that, the game is so good. It is so interesting to play because you play as this character named Kat, and she basically ends up in this world, and she has no idea who she is or what she's doing, but she does have these abilities with gravity. She has these gravity powers, so she can manipulate gravity, and she can fly into the air, she can run up walls, she can do all sorts of different combat moves using gravity. She manipulates it, and she can fly through the air or speed down the streets of the towns and all this crazy stuff, which I thought was really cool. I mean, you have this adventure game, and what other game do you know where the character just manipulates gravity the way Kat does? And I just thought that was such an interesting, oh my gosh, my nose is stuffy. Sorry guys, I'm a little sick today. But the game is absolutely unique in its own self. The art is really cool. It's got a little anime-esque feel to it. And, I think Kat is such an interesting character. She's so lovable. And the whole game in itself is great. It's basically a mission type of based game, so you select which missions you want to go to, and then there's a waypoint that'll show you where you need to go. And the abilities in the game are just so unique and so cool. For example, you can use your thumbs and put them down on the Vita, on the touchscreen on the front, and you can slide through town, and you actually use the 6-axis capability to move the character. And I thought that was so cool. It was a great use of the 6-axis function and the touchscreen at the same time. And the game definitely uses everything that it can get out of the Vita, which I think is phenomenal. Also, the game is free if you have PlayStation Plus. I believe it's called if I'm not mistaken, the Welcome Package. So I think Uncharted is on there, I know Gravity Rush is on there, and you can download them when you get a Vita for free if you have Plus. And pretty much everyone should have Plus by now. So it's free. If you have a Vita, download it. It's absolutely free. It's great if you love adventure games and you want to have something new, then pick up Gravity Rush. The only complaint that I had with it was when I first started playing it, I got slightly dizzy because you are manipulating gravity, so you're upside down, your side, you're right side up, you're constantly moving around, and sometimes I'll be running up a building and I'll lose my gravity gauge, go out, and then I'll like topside flip and go down, and I'm kind of like turning my Vita to figure out which side is right side up, and I first got a little bit of a headache doing that, but eventually I kind of got used to it, so it wasn't that big of a problem. But I know there are a couple friends of mine that couldn't get through the game because they had a little bit of a headache trying to get through it. But it's a great game, so pick it up. It's free if you have a Vita and Plus, so there's no reason why you shouldn't play this game. So that was Gravity Rush, and I can't wait to cosplay Cat, so look out for that. On a side note, I'm really, really excited for next month's 3 games. I'm gonna kind of let you in on a little secret. Ground Zeroes is obviously gonna be one of my 3 games, because I'm gonna be so ridiculously busy for the next couple months. I'm not gonna do a separation of backlog versus games that I just pick up. I'm just gonna play 3 games a month, and I mean, I'm playing Ground Zero, no question, so I already have it paid off. It's coming out on the 18th, and with that being said, I've never finished Peace Walker. So my plan is to go through Peace Walker first and go through Ground Zero. So those are going to be my 2 games. So I'm going to actually tie in Ground Zero review for my second video for next month, because again, I want to do videos as I play the game. This month was just a little bit more wonky because the craziness that has been going on. But I'm going to try to tie those 2 in together, and hopefully I can go through Peace Walker. I have no idea why it took me forever to go through, to get to going through this game. I actually have the collector's edition PSP that came out with the game when the game was released. So the emerald green one, not the army one. It was the limited, I believe it's GameStop that put out the emerald green one. But anyways, I've had the game, but now I have it on HD, so I'm going to probably play it on my PS3. And I believe that the game is about 60 hours long, so I have a lot of work to do. I'm really excited about it. Metal Gear is my life. I love Metal Gear. So it's going to be so much fun to go through it. I can't wait for Ground Zero. It's going to be great. I want to know what's going to happen. So that'll be a little sneak peek for next month. On a side note, one of the reasons I've been so busy this month, I had to travel to New York at some point. I've been trying to work on my cosplay. And last but not least, I have started a podcast with 2 of my friends. So I actually would really appreciate it if you guys check that out. Our website is etankpodcast.weebly.com, and I'll link it below so that you guys can go to the address and check it out, read our bios, see when we're going to be what we're going to be talking about for that week. We do post every Sunday, and last Sunday was our first post, so we were really, really excited to get that out. We got a lot of great feedback, so if you haven't checked out my new podcast with our friends, then just go ahead and check us out. Let me know what you think. I feel like I have the greatest fans. I don't have an insane amount of subscribers or Twitter followers, but the people that do follow me, I really, really appreciate everything. I really appreciate you watching my videos, commenting on stuff. I try to comment as much as I can to each and every one of you because I just feel so honored that there are people out there that actually care about the stuff that I do. So thank you so much for your support. And, check out our podcast, see if you like it, share it if you can. It's a lot of fun. Grace and Victor are my co-hosts, and they're just really great people. So we're basically going to go over reviews and, gameplay for the week and big coming news, all kinds of stuff for gaming. Of course, I'm going to be hitting up that Metal Gear section like crazy because I think I'm the biggest Metal Gear fan on the podcast, so check that out too. But Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, and obviously keep up with that because I'll be talking about Peace Walker for my next video. Thanks guys, have a good one.